Hello, everybody. Welcome to a nice episode of the Picks Porch. As always, I'm XFL Jim, joined by the man, the myth, the legend is Chase, the Wolf of Oakline, the Lupine Fiasco Sesums. What's up, buddy? It's been too long.
It's
Going
been
a whole
too
week
long.
without doing a show sucks.
We blamed the hotel. We blamed the hotel for that. That was not
it was
our
bad.
part. Yeah, we did our part. We did our part. We were where we were supposed to be when we said we would be there, so
I'm not taking the episode down. It remains up in all of its 13 minutes of glory of just terrible connection issues.
yeah, pretty much. It's cool.
We don't have that now. I'm back in the studio. We are living the life, and we are here to blast you with picks, which is what we're going to do. So I didn't really have a lot of time this week to get my picks all sorted out and planned and everything, so I'm firing from the hip. I figured we'll go through the games tonight that haven't started yet. That's why you watch live, folks. We'll hit a little Elite 8. I'll hit some Japanese basketball, and then hit you in the face with Week 6 of XFL action. What do you say to that, Chase?
This agenda, I second it. It's approved. Let's do it.
You want to just go through both games tonight and just go through all the college basketball games that they have open?
Let's do it.
Okay, Princeton-Creighton. Creighton's a 10-point favorite tonight, over under 141.
I'm actually getting Creighton right now. I'm taking a minus 10.5 at a meat and potatoes minus 110 here. I don't know why. I like the way that these Big East teams are playing, and it's just Cinderella time. Cinderella time is over for Princeton. This is the Sweet 16 is when actual Cinderellas die. Typically,
Can you call a 3-seed a Cinderella? Because K-State, I'm gonna call them a team of destiny because K-State has that team of destiny vibes.
They sure have the Rodney Dangerfield no respect thing going for them. Even though that little point guard they have, Noel, is a baller.
He's so good.
Yeah, they got Desi Sills, who was played for the Razorbacks. He's a Jones Boogie, Arkansas kid. He's really good. It's a really good team. They're really fun to watch.
I'm going to second you on Creighton minus 10. I think they were one of my favorites kind of coming into the tournament. I like them here in this matchup. I do think Princeton can make it sort of a game for the most part, but I think Creighton pulls away late.
Okay.
Xavier, Texas. Texas minus 4, over under 148. This is a system play. I'm sorry. I think Texas is good, but Xavier money line.
I don't know what to make of this Xavier team. They feel like they're so just great game, awful game, great game, awful game. And they're coming off of a great game. I don't know, Texas got out from under the thumb of someone who allegedly did stuff to their wife. So there's that triumph story, that Disney story there.
Yep.
It's probably the two best basketball conferences now whenever you look at it as the way things are shaking out with the Big East and the Big 12. I went Texas minus 4.5 because I could get it at minus 105.
I don't hate it. This is just an anti-Texas play on my part.
I mean, forever
horns down, but it's probably the better play.
I mean, let's go Xavier, but I think Texas covers.
Moving on to the Elite 8 matchups that are already set. FAU, K-State. K-State's coming in minus 2, over under 144.5.
What do you think?
I'm going to play the over in this game.
Florida Atlantic does score points in bunches. I mean, there's a reason they've won 30-plus games.
Also, K-State games have been going over in this tournament. I think they're 3-1.
They're pretty much clicking. It's not like there's first game on the court either. This is where they played the Sweet 16. So, yeah, I'm gonna go with the K-State minus 1.5. They just have so much pep and zing right now, pizzazz even.
They
kids
do.
Say.
And I like the K-State minus 2 as well. I might dabble with that a little bit later. UConn, Gonzaga. UConn coming in minus 2, over under 153.5. Give me UConn.
I mean, do you fade UConn because they're coming off of
the Nips game?
Yeah, they're coming off of a game where they're playing a team that was obviously cursed by their head coach's nipples. So, I mean, was it really that impressive, or did they beat a team that was damned for all eternity?
I think Arkansas, after Muss shows his nips, could play the worst team in the world, and they'd probably lose.
They'd lose to that team that the Globetrotters, like the Washington Generals or something.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna go with UConn because aside from their Marquette game, they've been beasting fools.
yeah, I'm on UConn
that was
too.
that was the Big East tournament. Like,
Here's the deal: is they're so fucking good. I think that's the main the main stat that you need to take into consideration is that they got like a 99% so fucking good rate.
87-63 against Iona, 70-55 St. Mary's, 88-65 Arkansas. Like, come on.
Yes. Sonogo's a grown ass man. He's like if Oscar Tshiebwe was good at basketball.
I think UConn might be the best team in the tournament right now.
They look the part. They can shoot the lights out. That's the thing. That's how these teams like just absolutely dominate is like next thing you know they're up like 15 20 points because they just shot the lights out. So yeah, I mean at this point, especially looking at what's going on in the Houston game right now, I got to say that UConn is my favorite as the 4 seed to win it all. Like they're really good.
My work bracket got ruined because I really would have loved a UConn rematch win against Alabama as the final.
Right.
I think that would have been fun.
Yeah, that would have been pretty good.
But we don't get that magic. That's it for college basketball right now, unless you're going to live bet Houston plus 10.5.
Nah. Yeah. Yeah, maybe. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see.
I'm gonna hop over. I'm gonna play a little bit of Japanese basketball. I'm gonna give you the Shimane Susanoo Magic minus 13 versus Kyoto Hanaris. I'm gonna give you the Hiroshima Dragonflies minus 13.5 versus the Toyama Grouses. What's a grouse?
A grouse is a bird. It's
yeah.
It's like a game bird. It's almost like a quail or that kind of thing. Like you can hunt grouse, and there's a Scotch called Famous Grouse.
I'm taking the Sunrocker Shibuya minus 7 versus the Lake Stars. And I am taking... There was one other one. I didn't... No.
I think you could call a grouse just an extra regular-ass chicken.
I think that's usually how I refer to them. They're just like big chickens. I will take the Nagoya Diamond Dolphins minus 6.5 versus the Fighting Eagles Nagoya, the double Nagoya matchup.
Jim, I found a future that's going to blow your mind out of your ass. Sir.
And I will take the Ryukyu Golden Kings minus 13. Once again, I'll go through it real quick and then I'll get your future. Shimane Susanoo Magic minus 13. Hiroshima Dragonflies minus 13.5. Sunrocker Shibuya minus 7. Nagoya Diamond Dolphins minus 6.5. Ryukyu Golden Kings minus 13. I'm worried that I'm taking Old Chalk this week, but I'm going to take it.
All right. I just got my first glimpse at the PDC World Championship futures.
Oh, Jesus.
Which is the Premier League darts. And I'm looking at these prices here. And speaking of prices, I see someone sitting at a juicy plus 750 who we know wins everything under the sun when it comes to throwing darts. Give me Mr. Gerwin Price plus 750.
Ooh.
To win the PDC World Championship for 23-24.
You're doing them dirty, Chase.
I'm playing the long game with this Pick Porch.
Is that the first time? I think that's the first time you've given Gerwin Price on this show for plus money.
I think it's the first time in the history of humanity that anyone's ever given a darts future just outright.
Probably.
Definitely.
Do you have... Dude, I'm not finding any XFL lines. This is heresy.
Oh, I got him.
Why are none of the offshores offering XFL lines? Did something happen? Did some sharp money come in?
And just shut it all down? Did Terrell Buckley die and they suspend action?
2 of my 3 books didn't... Okay, here we go. I finally got it. Thank you, Heritage Sports, for actually having lines. Game number 1, Seattle Sea Dragons, Orlando Guardians. Sea Dragons right now, minus 9.5, over under 42.5.
Okay, so the Guardians looked good with Dormady. Dormady can spin the bean. The scoundrel Quentin Dormady can spin the bean, right?
I think he's hurt, though.
Oh, okay. I thought that was Reed Sinnett that got hurt.
I know he's hurt. Let's see. I know Reed Sinnett's hurt. God damn it.
screw it.
No, I think no. It was just they didn't play Dormady the whole game. Yeah, so they looked way better with Dormady.
Okay, so hold on. Let's talk about in a very quick fashion about what happened last week.
Yes.
And now this week, because last week you mentioned it, like week 5 in these spring leagues is like weird week. Weird things happen in week 5. And I feel like we got those sort of kind of what we would see as kind of weird results last week. Do you concur?
I would concur. I would say the weird result was probably obviously the Dragons versus the Roughnecks was probably the weirdest result of them all, with it not being a super pointsy matchup either.
Everyone was very high on the Battlehawk. I believe the Battlehawks were, well, I mean, they were within a field goal, I believe, by the time that kicked off.
It was a close game. I heard some people calling it a blowout. It was a close game.
Right. You have Vegas finally getting a win, but all doing everything possible to not win against the Guardians.
The ending of that game was one of the dumbest things of football I've seen in a long time.
So when we're looking at this week, then my question that I posit to you this: can we return to normal logic again? Like, can we now we're like, all right, we know who everyone is. There's nothing sneaky going on.
We might be in a post-logic world.
Might be living in a we're living in a post-truth society, so this makes sense.
Nothing makes sense in the XFL for the next 5 weeks until playoff times.
Okay.
I mean, it's kind of like you kind of have to factor in potentially playing for something. Like the Sea Dragons are very much alive for the playoffs. The Guardians are very much not.
Yeah. I mean, at the same time, it takes 2 losses and everyone is in play to win the North.
I'm saying the North is crazy.
Yeah.
I just think the Guardians are kind of out of it in the South. I don't know. Obviously, the players are still playing to try and get looks from the NFL teams and everything like that, so they still want to show off.
Yeah.
And maybe with Dormady, this team has found like a way to gel together. You saw it in 2020 with the Tampa Bay Vipers when, like, once they found the quarterback they wanted to go with, once Taylor Cornelius was the guy, they sort of started to gel together. They looked better and better. I'm going to say it. I think 9.5 is too high.
What's the Josh Gordon factor? Like, is he going to play? Like, what's the deal?
He plays. I assume he's going to play. I think he plays, but Ben DiNucci, I don't know if Ben DiNucci has the clout to not make Josh Gordon play.
Is this where he just like ghosts like out of an organization like he typically does? Like he plays like a couple like killer games and then he maybe only gets like 1 or 2 passes and then the next thing you know he's like, oh, Josh Gordon's been released.
Shortened season, so he's speed running the Josh Gordon like storyline.
Yeah. It's
possibly
he's listening to his life's podcast on like 1.5 speed. Yeah.
If he doesn't play, I wonder how that would affect Ja'Cour Pearson.
I mean, he'll just get fed the ball, but I don't think that he gets as open all the time.
I think he's now the key target.
You know what? Because of the dysfunctional Josh Gordon, give me the fuck. Give me the fucking Guardians plus.
I'm taking the Guardians plus 9.5. They didn't let me down last week. They covered. They covered the spread last week. They done did it.
Jesus Christ! This feels strangely familiar, Jim.
I mean, I feel like this is every week when we pick the Guardians. But also, if you think about the Sea Dragons' offense, hasn't looked as explosive.
Yeah.
21 points against Houston. 15 points against San Antonio.
Those are 2 pretty good defenses.
Those are good defenses. I think the Guardians' defense is at least decent.
They're decent-ish, yeah.
And I think if they're smart and just start Dormady the whole time, I think their offense is a little bit more competitive. They don't have a born loser leading the team.
That man's hairline says born loser.
I'm going to go over 42.5 as well. I think this gets pointsy with Dormady.
Dude, I've learned that I
promise the people, so I have to. These totals are so. I went like 1 and 3 last week.
That's right. I always forget that you promised the people that you have to. I have made only promises to myself to and have.
Do not bet these XFL totals. It's so bananas. It's up in the air.
Until we do because we found the critical variable that solves the world of totals in XFL. And once we crunch those numbers and do the math, that's when we start diving into totals.
That, and then I have the other thing. If the Renegades are playing, bet the under.
Yeah. Oh, that's a lock. 1,000% of the time that works.
The other Saturday game, St. Louis Battlehawks, Vegas Vipers. Battlehawks -3 on the road at Cashman's, over under 44.5.
Are they finally going to get nice weather in Vegas for one of the games?
They had it last week.
Yeah, and they won, didn't they?
They did. Do I get cute here? Because it's going to be Perez. Every team that Luis Perez is on, they do this thing where they like mix the quarterbacks and everything, and then they just find out, oh yeah, Luis Perez is just good in spring football leagues, and he's going to be consistent.
He was the magic that they had inside of them this entire time.
They're going to start him, and it was the same thing in New Jersey last year in the USFL. They're going to find Luis Perez he's a quintessential spring football quarterback.
I look back to St. Louis, and all I can think of with St. Louis is that the only 2 games that you have lost are to the best team in the league.
True.
I think they're a really good football team. I don't feel like they ever looked necessarily just exposed against the defenders or against the defenders. They never really looked like they were truly out of the game. They were always kind of in the mix until the end. And I'm not going to let those results against the defenders when a lot of these other teams are going to get their shit pushed in by the defenders. I'm not going to let that skew me. So I'm going to be chalky and go Battlehawks -3 here.
Here's why I don't hate that. Because, like you said, the Battlehawks' only losses are to the defenders. And the Battlehawks' biggest weakness, in my opinion, is the offensive line. Which baffles me. Still to this week, baffles me. Because it feels like only one team can really have a good run game, and that's DC. And I don't know why no other team tries. But I don't think Vegas is the team. We've seen it week in and week out. They're not a team that'll pressure your offensive line. They're not going to be good up front.
No. That Vegas roster, like talent-wise, feels really kind of slanted to offense. Like it doesn't feel like they've got any sort of real studs, whereas there are a few of these places do feel like they've got a couple studs playing D.
Henceforth, I just threw that in there. I hope you noticed.
Okay.
I'm going to take that. I'm going to take the Battlehawks -3.
Okay.
I'm going to take the over 44.5. Go fucking... I'm going to... Jesus Christ. Sunday! San Antonio Brahmas, Arlington Renegades, the matchup of the game of the week last week. That was sarcasm. I laid it on very thin. Reed Sinnott is hurt. We are getting Jack Cohn. Give me the Renegades -2.5. Give me the under 32.5. I don't care how low this total is.
Man, I still feel suckered into the Brahmas. And so I really don't know what to do in this game because I really don't want to pick the Brahmas. I don't know. This line is 3. They're probably giving them 3 for the home field advantage.
What are you seeing on the money line for the Renegades?
I can get -155 for the Renegades. I can get +135 for the Brahmas.
What I would recommend to the people, live bet this. Live bet it, especially if like San Antonio starts with the ball and they might get an early score. Live bet it.
So live bet for a Renegade comeback?
Yes, because I cannot... I think we're at this point now that Jack Cohn is who I thought he was. He really had us fooled those first 2 games, dude. And the Renegades are a good like the defense for the Renegades is good.
You know what? I've hated on the Renegades a lot. I've been in the Brahmas corner. I do think that they're very well coached and well disciplined, but I don't think that the play calling is necessarily good on offense for them, and I don't know that they've got the quarterback who can convert even if they had the play calling on offense. So, I mean, the Renegades this could end up 0-0 going into the fourth quarter and the Renegades winning on a defensive touchdown. Or I just get it by a field goal and they push it -3. So give me the Renegades -3 here.
That was my other take is I like both offenses are really bad, both defenses are good. I trust the Renegades special teams way more.
I might Dutch this so that I still end up making a little bit of money between the Renegades and the points, and then the Brahmas on the money line.
I like it. You're gonna try and play with fire. You're gonna try and Icarus it right close to the sun.
Yeah, I'm just gonna degen Icarus this shit. That's exactly how that's gonna go down.
God damn it, Jack Cohen. Man, how pissed is Kyle Sloter? Like they just released like the offensive talent for the Breakers.
Mm-hmm. I hadn't seen
he's
it.
Missing out. He's missing out. It's a lot of. I mean, those receivers are returning for one.
So like Jonathan Adams Jr. and all those guys are all back.
Yeah.
Johnny Dixon and shit.
Yep, Johnny Dixon's back, and then
that's such a sick. That is a sick wide receiver core for spring league.
The only difference is instead of Kyle Sloter, now they got the CFL dude, McLeod Bethel Thompson. I think that offense is going to be dangerous.
CFL legend, right?
Yes, anyone who plays in these leagues is a league.
Well, of course,
legend.
Yeah. I was just going by senior pro.
He also led the CFL in passing yards last year, which is
going to be really interested to see how that looks.
I'm excited.
With John DeFilippo. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Monday Night Football.
Bow, 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 bow.
Houston Roughnecks, DC Defenders, DC -2.5, over under 42.5.
DC gets him at home. I wish I had an alternate line here because I would take DC up to 5.5. Honestly.
Yeah, if this was at Houston, I'd get cheeky and take Houston as a home dog.
Yeah, seriously, DC is a touchdown. Them playing at home is a touchdown advantage. I've said it all season, and I've maintained it.
It's insane.
It's a touchdown advantage. So I say, since I can't get the alternate line, I need more varied lines. Sports books of the great state of Arkansas for XFL. I'll just go ahead and take the meat and potatoes -110 at -2.5 for the Defenders. So I went chalk eating weasel everywhere but the Guardians, and there's no way that doesn't hurt me, right?
God damn it, I did too. I really want to take the Roughnecks just money line. Fuck. I want them in a bounce back.
What can you get on the money line?
It's just +125. I think I can get it better live.
I honestly would want more. I would want way more for that.
I would want way more. That's what that's what I'm saying. So what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna take the DC Defenders -2.5, and then I might pivot come Monday night.
Just go full turncoat on yourself there
and live bet it and just turncoat myself. This total is just mocking me at 42.5. I bet the under in so many Defenders games, but they seem to always go over. Give me over 42.5. Fuck me.
You have the two probably most elite Well, the Houston defense isn't really elite right now with the injuries.
It was good. It stopped the Sea Dragons. The Sea Dragons only scored 21.
I mean, still, but they didn't have the pass rush. DiNucci was able to not look like Ben DiNucci because
he did
normally
still throw 3 interceptions.
I know. I mean, if they had a pass rush, he would have thrown 7 to 9 interceptions in that game.
I'm taking the over 42.5. I think this is a bounce back spot. I think Seattle specifically is geared to stop Houston's offense because they have June Jones as the OC.
I'm just saying the way
the pass rush for DC is insane. The pass rush is insane.
The way
the defense is good.
That Seattle defense is getting really good too. So yeah, you know what? This is the one total I'm gonna take a stand on, just because I feel like it's wrong. You're wrong, and you're just wrong. So I'm gonna go under there. I'm gonna take the
Chase,
under.
I've been wrong on so many totals. When I feel wrong, I should lean into it.
That's a good point. That is an excellent point.
So I'm gonna take the over 42.5 in that game. And
are you doubling down every time I say wrong? That's another one, and double it.
Just fucking double everything.
You take that, divide it by 2, and then you double it. And then you take that and you divide it by 2, and then you double it again.
Do I get cheeky and fucking sprinkle the Guardians money line?
Why are you so cheeky this week? I feel like we've known each other years now.
After a week of not talking any XFL with anybody and just working all day every day, I'm feeling a little cheeky.
I've often heard that where you were in Nebraska is the United Kingdom of the United States.
They have no bar.
What?
A town in the Midwest with no bar should be a war crime.
There's not even just like an old grain silo that you
No,
can drink
there's
in
a
with
liquor
hobos,
store,
or-
and we drank at the hotel. No bar.
God damn.
That
That's
place
rough.
sucks. That place sucks.
I love a good hotel lobby bar, don't you? Good old lobby bar.
Shout out Holiday Inn Express for doing happy hour, by the way, 5 to 7. If I ever made it, it's free beer.
I love the lobby bars that like definitely they like give you the wink and the nudge. It's like, hey, we definitely encourage swinging here because you can take your drinks to your room.
It's not a lobby bar. We just like got booze at the grocery store and then drank at in the breakfast area.
There you go. There you go. If you drank late enough, then you could eat the egg discs.
Yes.
And sausage.
What's your favorite XFL play?
What's my favorite XFL play? Let me see.
Mine might be the Renegades -2.5.
I'm trying to look at what gives me the best odds here too.
We go Renegades -2.5. That's my best play.
You're gonna go Renegades -2.5. I want -3. Just because it's something fun and it's an early game. You know, it's an early game. Body clocks. give me the Guardians +9.5. That's my best play.
That's my number 2 play.
How you talked me into making that my best play, Jim? I will never know.
It's magic. I'm magic sometimes.
Highly impressionable. Jim, I had my kids to myself, for the last 2 days. They got everything that they wanted. Everything that they wanted. I'm winning that morale war, son. I'm winning hearts and minds around here.
You're winning the long battle.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that'll do it for the Picks Porch, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for letting us blast you in the face with picks. We'll be back to do it again next week. I'll see everybody tomorrow when I live stream these XFL games. Bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye, bye-bye. I love you. Kisses.